Okay, that's the thing too, is like the morning I was kicked out. So there, now he's doing it though, because now he knows, so now he knows it's not a threat, and now he knows he's safe, and he knows that I'm not a danger to him, and he knows that now he feels safe because he's in a closed environment, and he knows it's, so anyways, like that's the thing. I'm not a professional dog trainer. I don't know any of this stuff. This is all stuff that I recognized from his behaviors, and then the fact that I suffer from trauma. I kind of could tell, like, he was reacting, but that's the thing, is like when I would have my panic attacks and stuff, and then when I would go into that survival mode and I would become a crazy Karen, right? I started acting like a crazy Karen, and yelling and being all obnoxious. I noticed that he would like physically shut down, like literally. There was a time that I freaked out one day because he wasn't eating, he wasn't responding, he was on the ground, like he was alive, right? Obviously. But he wasn't moving. He was not responding to me, but I could tell he was conscious, because like he was, his eyes were closed, but like they would still kind of like, I could tell that he would still be kind of like it's like his eyes would be looking towards the direction of sound, and his ears would move and stuff. So I could tell he was still aware of things, but like it's like his body literally shut down to the point where he could not function, and I couldn't get him to eat. And I was terrified because I was like, if I can't get my dog to eat, he's gonna fucking starve, and I cannot have my dog die. Like I was so scared, and that's when I calmed down, and I started trying to coax him, and like get him to feel comfortable again, and that's when I noticed and I realized that, that is what made me realize, like, I might not be intentionally trying to harm people, but if my own dog, like, it scared him to the point where he could not move. And then that's kind of when I started realizing, like, that was happening with my mom. She reacts that way. She's literally, like, her body, and she was trying to tell me that, like, that's what sucks too, is like I was not respecting her when she was literally telling me that she felt like her body could not handle the stress. Because if, like, I think I remember it from previous arguments, and I also remember just based on like some videos that I watched, and like I took videos and tried to like show their behaviors and stuff, and it's like now I realize, like, I'll probably rewatch those videos, and I mean it's obvious, like she is literally telling me in those videos and in those conversations, like, I can't handle this, I need to go. And for me, because of my past traumas, well, I gotta go with him, but because of my past traumas, that was me interpreting that as a rejection, which I interpreted as a abandonment, and so that our traumas were literally triggering each other, and that sucks. It sucks that it got to this point, but hey, I mean, maybe it was for the best. I don't know. I think that's what was happening. But anyways, long story short, I noticed Shadow was reacting to my bad behaviors, and that's when I realized that I needed to stop. And it looks like, oh, yep, he wants to play or something, so. Or I don't know if he even wants to play, if he's still hungry. I don't know, we'll find out. But I gotta go. But yeah, like my outbursts were causing him to literally shut down, and that's what made me realize that, that's what made me realize that my mom was doing the same thing. And so then that's when I was kind of like, I don't want to fight anymore. And that's what's sad, is like that the day of, and the day that I was kicked out, and the day that, and I was kicked out because one of the other people in my family, right, and I'm pretty sure I know who it is, but I won't name his name. Oh, my bad. Well, now you know it was a he in my family. Yep, and so that's what he does. But anyways, they called the cops and reported me instead of actually trying to work things out like an adult, And that's another thing too, is like that's the thing, right? This whole time they've been telling me to act like an adult. But why is it that they can't even approach me with actual problems? They have to still go. They're the ones that weren't acting like an adult in the first place. Because when they had a problem with me, they didn't come to me directly. They went to our mother. So who's the real adult here? Because I was the one that I made a truce with her, and I said, hey, I don't want to fight anymore. I don't like how it's affecting me. I don't like how it's affecting you. I don't like how it's affecting my dog. So then I said something like, hey, like, I know I'm recording this, but whatever. Like I'm gonna say this, but it's like. I said, hey, how about when it gets to a point when we're starting to call each other names, or when we're starting to use bad language? Because for me, bad language doesn't bother me. It actually is a stress reliever. But like, I know that my mom doesn't like it, and I know that my dad doesn't like it. So I said, hey, how about this? If it gets to a point in an argument where I start cursing, or if I start saying names, or somebody starts calling each other names, then that is when we need to end it immediately, right? So that I tried to set up that boundary. I also tried to say, like, I told them that I was gonna make more of an effort and everything, but then I told them like to give me one more chance, and they said they didn't do it because of all the other times in the past, right? But that's the thing though, is like, what I've proven now that my disorder, whatever I have, is a reaction to something else, right? So like, why is it still and that's kind of funny, because that's the whole talking about freaking Arthur and everything. That was his condition, right? His condition, his laughing condition, it happened when he got uncomfortable in his environment. And then everybody looked at him like he was crazy. But that's the thing though, is that he was actually a good person. It was his environment that caused him to go crazy. And now I fucking proved that. I fucking proved to the ER people that I wasn't actually crazy. So then they were gonna put me on a fucking 5150, and I talked myself out of a 5150. If I was actually mentally insane, would I have been able to do that? I don't think so. So fuck that. Other people, I'm gonna start taking responsibility for my life. And I know now that I know what happens, and now that I know I'm starting to learn my triggers, I'm gonna start taking responsibility for that. But other people need to start taking responsibility too, and man up and take responsibility for the things that you've done that have fucked me over. Yeah? Because you have been involved. I'm not saying it's all your fault. And I'm not saying that I don't have any fault in it either. I'm literally taking responsibility and saying, yes, a lot of this is because of my behaviors. And now I need to go before my dog makes a mess. But it's like, dude, I've taken responsibility for all of my shit. I apologize. I officially apologize for all the fucking bullshit that I've ever caused, all the pain, all the craziness that I've ever caused in my life, based on the chaos of my life. I apologize if anybody was offended, or if anyone was personally inconvenienced or stressed or made uncomfortable due to the chaos in my life. But that's the thing though, is I never intentionally tried to hurt anybody. That was just how chaotic my life was. So I will take responsibility for those things, but that's not my fault that you got upset and that you became anxious. Those were your feelings based on the situation. So I will apologize that my behaviors made you feel that way, but you need to man up and take responsibility for your own feelings. So don't blame me for your fucking feelings, because this whole fucking time people have been telling me that I need to take responsibility, and that, look, these are my feelings, right? That those are my feelings. That was one of their main arguments, right? When I would bring up something and say like, this, something you did has made me upset, they would say that one of the main things they would say is like, but those are your feelings. That's your interpretation of the situation. That's how you see things, right? But that's the thing though, is they were doing the exact same thing the opposite way. But they were still putting all the blame on me. And so now I think I've proven that I'm not actually mentally insane. I just get panic attacks, and then I did not know the right way to control my behavior. So now I'm taking responsibility, and I'm going to say I'm going to do my absolute best to not act that way again. But now I would appreciate it if those people that have done me wrong in the past will actually man up, right? That quote unquote man up and take responsibility. Please, just do it. Just apologize for what you did. And that's not apologizing for the bad things, the bad behavior you've had is not accepting blame for it's not accepting that you were the only one wrong. It's just you're just taking responsibility for the bad things you've done in the past. That's what I've been trying to do this whole time, but nobody else has. So how about everybody else starts doing that too? And until you do that to me, until you have come to me and apologized for the bad things that you've done to me, you are not forgiven. I will start to try and forgive certain people if they apologize, but I can't guarantee I will. But I know I can guarantee that I'm not even going to try until I get an apology. So that's that. I gotta go. But see you later. Take responsibility for your lives. Shout out to Jordan Peterson. He actually knows what he's talking about. Sayonara, suckers.